What's good, guys, and welcome to another episode in Mini Football Logic. It's Zeno here, and in today's episode, we're going to be reacting to Manchester City's draw at the Bernabeu against Real Madrid. Now, as we all know, these are two of the finest teams in European football. Man City currently top of the Premier League, Real Madrid currently a lot of points adrift to Barcelona in La Liga, but of course still one of the top sides in Spain. But when it comes to the Champions League, something just comes out of them. Honestly, just something comes out of them. They know exactly how to win in Europe, and, well, they won last year. They are simply inevitable. Nonetheless, with that in mind, Man City have been chasing the Champions League for a very long time. It was one of the goals of, UAE when they took over the club. Yeah, I'm calling it that, UAE. It's a whole country in charge of that damn team. Nonetheless, after all this time, they still haven't been able to win the Champions League, only reaching just the one final against Chelsea in 2021 and losing that final. As a result, we are now where we are. They've signed Erling Braut Haaland, a guy that has been charged with the task of being able to score the goals to lead them to victory. And he just didn't turn up. The truth about Haaland is simply the fact that a striker like him requires service. He isn't going to get you a goal from absolutely nothing. He's not Harry Kane. He's not going to be able to have these moments of brilliance where he gets the ball on the edge of the box or gets the ball, in between the halfway line and the box. And he's just going to do something magical, like create a chance or go past 3-4 players and plant one bottom corner. De Bruyne's more likely to do that, and that's what he did for the equaliser. But this is the truth, man. And obviously, Man City started the game off really, really hot. Well, hot for these standards. They came out right at the gates, controlled the game. Real Madrid were doing a lot of defending. As we all know, Real Madrid like to catch teams by surprise. You could even say that they are technically a counter-attacking team, despite having, dictators in the midfield such as Kroos and Modric. And Man City pretty much dominated the ball for the first 35 minutes. And then something turned. Real Madrid get the ball in the counter-attack. Vinícius is driving, cuts inside. Absolute power drive into the net. This is what Real Madrid do. They get dominated. Last season, it was an absolute masterclass. This year has been a bit more straightforward, beating Liverpool and Chelsea comfortably in the previous rounds. But obviously, another English team they are now facing. They are in for their biggest challenge so far in the tournament, and Real Madrid look like they do what they do best. Catch the opponents when they're slipping, when they least expect it, and get themselves a goal and get themselves a result to put themselves in a position to continue advancing. But this time, Man City said, no, we're going to give you a taste of your own medicine. So once the second half was coming to a close and Real Madrid started to balance things out and the second half began, Real Madrid started to take control of the game. All of a sudden, interesting enough, I saw Modric at the left-back position quite often and Camavinga then playing in the role more, related to where Modric is normally playing. And they started to control the game a lot more. They got to grips with it. And at this point, you're thinking, okay, they're going to probably just casually, shepherd this game home, get the result, get the 1-0 victory. But of course, Man City had other plans. This is the reality of top teams when you face them. Even Real Madrid can't stem the tide. De Bruyne gets the ball at the edge of the box off a layup from Gundogan. He absolutely slams it into the corner. Oh, what a finish. I can't even sit down and deny it, man. It was funny because before the goal was coming, I was calling him De Bruyne and everything, slandering him. Another performance in, a big European game where he, flattered to deceive. Because obviously his numbers say otherwise. The majority of his Champions League goals come in the knockout stages, which means he does score in these games. But as we all know, numbers can be deceiving, and this goal might be the most important of the lot. It's a fantastic finish, But this is what we know De Bruyne is capable of. He's been doing this, so obviously it was not a surprise to see his quality shine through. But I don't know if you guys have remember me ever saying this, but of course there is a curse that PSG and Man City have, and it's the curse of the oil. But I'm not going to get into that because I feel like, Man City might just break that curse. This was a very good performance. Even when Real Madrid took over the game, they gave them a taste of their own medicine and sneaked to go through. And then Man City did well to then it was their turn to shepherd the game home. And they did well to do that. And they ended up taking care of things and managed to hold on for the result. Real Madrid struggled to create. Usually by now, this inevitable old clock, they find a way to score. And now the game is finally poised between the two teams for the second leg at the Etihad. Man City look like they're the favourites and they have the advantage, but you can never count out Real Madrid. Never in the Champions League. Nonetheless, I think I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys for listening, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode tomorrow, where we'll be talking about AC versus Inter, the other semi-final.
Mini Laje.